What's happening, everyone? It's your boy Uch back again once again for well, I've done these a few times, but this is a video where I will pretty much be breaking down my entire experience of this year's EVO, aka Evolution, aka the granddaddy of all of the fighting game tournaments in existence. This is the WrestleMania, the Super Bowl of fighting games, whatever you want to call it, but it is a very important event, and it is a very important event to me personally because, like I just mentioned, it's one of those events that you absolutely have to experience for yourself if you are some sort of fighting game fanatic enthusiast, or if you just enjoy watching fighting games. Then this is something that I highly recommend for you to check out. I'm going to do my best here to kind of go full on out raw details and just go through in one shot because I want to get this video out faster than I normally would. So keep in mind of that. And there's a bunch of things I'm going to go over today. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the expenses. I'm going to go over all the things that I enjoyed and anything that I didn't like. And I'm also going to go into detail of some of the things that were slightly a nuisance, but nonetheless, I'm just going to go over my entire experience from the Thursday until when I had to go home on Monday night. So the first thing that I want to say is that EVO 2025 was a really, really fun event, but I want to put some emphasis as to how it was for me, given the situation that I was put in, and then kind of go from there. So let's start off by saying this. I missed an entire day of EVO. That sounds crazy. That sounds ludicrous. And I know some people might even say, why did you even bother going when you knew that you were missing the entire day? And it's like, well, when you take into consideration that this is the only event that I will probably be able to attend all year at this point. I missed out on Combo Breaker. I missed out on CEO. And those two things were due to prior family commitments. So there was no way out of those. But for this, I was like, this is essentially like my one shot, because after this, there really is no foreseeing what my next event is, at least in-person events. So when it comes to like East Coast Throwdown, they've already said that they're not coming back this year. Hopefully they'll come back next year. And after that, I kind of like don't really know. I'm hoping that with the potential success that the Tell 'em FGC series videos have, maybe that can entice people to support me a little more in getting me out to other events to do those videos at those events. So that'd be really awesome to do. But I obviously can't rely on that all too much, but I just have to be very realistic. And yeah, I'm kind of like at the mercy of that, because I'm not gonna get too political here, but I'm sure you could just do a quick Google search. The economy is kind of crazy right now in this country. So putting that aside, I want to just emphasize that EVO was a must. I had to go, had to experience it, had to fulfill the things that I was trying to do, especially on a content side, and just for the sake of my own sanity, because I'm sure a lot of you can relate. Like, the fighting game community is a very interesting, landscape, if you will. It's like it's a humongous group of individuals across all sorts of games and different little pocket communities and whatnot. And we all come together for our love and for our passions towards fighting games, whether we compete, whether we just spectate, whether we're casual, whether we're professional. For me, it's a lot of those things in combination with these events are basically a meeting point for me to see the people that I don't get to see on a daily basis, on a regular basis. This is an opportunity for me to get to spend time with close friends that I've made through the fighting game community and that I still to this day cherish. And like, I like, it might sound cheesy, but like, I kind of need this, and I'm hoping that this also is relatable to a lot of y'all that are watching this right now, because like everyone's situation is different. And right now it's like we're essentially kind of surviving by working because we need money to live. And, if we don't live, then, it is what it is, obviously, which is terrible to say, but that's the truth. And so when you have someone like myself who's like, damn, like this is it, or I'm just gonna go throughout the entire year just not doing anything, that I would need to like kind of reset myself, and like, you know, now I can go back to, you know, my daily struggle, if you will, of like, you know, work 10-hour day shifts, and then getting like a couple hours if I'm lucky to stream or to do videos or anything like that. And so EVO is very important. So I'm very happy that despite that I missed a day, which I will get into now, it was definitely worth it. So yes, I missed a day due to thunderstorm warnings. I'm on the East Coast, so I'm flying out of New Jersey, and it was very unfortunate. Now, the one thing that I do want to say is I definitely want to shout out my fiance really quick, because she kind of helped with just existing in my life, and it helped with getting over this, like, I guess you could call it like this minimal depressive state where I was just like really bummed out, and I was like, wow, like this is the first time I've ever experienced something like this, where I'm literally being held back due to weather from attending something that I was really looking forward to. And you know, like I mentioned, a lot of people, they would see that, they'll go through that, and they'll just charge the whole thing. They'll be like, yeah, no, I'm not even gonna bother going, you know what I'm saying? And like, I didn't want that, you know, like I didn't want to just call it quits at the first like sign of, oh, this might not be a good idea. Like, I didn't look at it that way. How I did look at it was, well, this is just another opportunity for me to spend more time with her, and for that, I do want to thank her publicly. I mean, I was loving up on her anyway, as it is, and I got to spend time with her for like a whole nother extra day at that point, because, you know, went back, stayed over her place. We ended up watching like TV and just hanging out and doing what we needed to do. And funny enough, I was actually able to take her to her appointments, because, you know, she had to. There's a whole medical thing that I'm not gonna get into here, but you know, I'll leave her GoFundMe link in the description here, so you guys can like get a more inside view on like what's going on with her. But I digress. It was like a weird way for the world to allow me to literally be with her for a little bit longer. And she's been very supportive of me and my whole adventure and trying to do this whole thing at a full-time rate. And she knows how important this is to me as well. She's actually the one that was going to take me to the airport in the first place. So despite me missing an entire day and at least being with her, it helped nullify my frustrations and like my sadness and all that kind of stuff. And also shout outs to anyone that reached out to me, whether it was a text or on Twitter, and you said something encouraging and was just like, you know, keep your head up and all that kind of stuff. That shit really does mean a lot. And I really do appreciate y'all for doing that and saying what you said, because, you know, all of that really helped and contributed to what led into what I'm about to get to next. So finally, Saturday morning, I took a very early flight so I could get there like 8:30 a.m. Las Vegas time. And as soon as I got there, I got to see Mega Isaac, one of my Power Ranger boys, right? And he was the first friend that I was able to see. And I dropped my stuff off, and then, you know, it was a very hot West Coast type of weather, which I've been used to. For those that don't know, I used to live in Arizona for like a couple years. And so yeah, like feeling that type of heat versus like the humidity heat that East Coast is having right now was different, but I was like, okay, this feels better than humid. So I don't know about you, but I'd rather that than humidity. Humidity sucks, especially if you got hair like me, you know what I'm saying? Beside the point. So I get there and I put my stuff down, I go back, and then I was like really just walking around and seeing like the landscape of how everything looked, and, you know, catching up with a few people that I was running into. Obviously, I ran into my boy Megaphone Frankie. I ran into my boy Curtis over at Dynamic Beadworks. And I ran into a few other friends here and there. And like, realistically, now that I think about it, the only thing I was able to do on my day one was to record content for my Godzilla card game stuff. And that was through my boy Sundula. Sundula is actually someone who I've known for years. I call him the king of games. Like, real shit. If you don't know who Sundula is, you need to really pay attention, okay? Because this guy's he's a veteran. In my eyes, he's a veteran. He's been around for a long time. He plays everything. Any game he touches, whether it's a card game or a video game, fighting game, he just locks in and gets it, right? So he was someone that I spent a lot of time with. So shouts to Dula. Made my time all the more better and way more fun to have someone like to, walk around with, to talk with, to catch up with. And so he brought 2 boxes of Godzilla card game cards. And so I brought like my top down tripod. We set it all up in the freaking cafeteria of all places. So, and it worked out. It was pretty cool. It was interesting. Had some interesting eyes peering over, doing one of those to see what we were doing. And he was just opening his pack, so I was able to do that. And then after that, I think realistically, I didn't really film anything else. Like I wanted to, but I essentially did all of that on Sunday. The rest of Saturday, I'm like drawing a blur right now because really I didn't do much. It was kind of just it was more of a getting settled and like catching up with people. And the one thing that I was able to do, speaking of catching up, was I was able to visit my friends over at Combo Devils, which if y'all don't know what's good with Combo Devils, then make sure you're subscribed to this channel and make sure you're paying attention to them, because this is a game that I am highly anticipating. I cannot wait for them to drop it. They do have a Kickstarter. I'll throw a link for them in my description right here as well. These guys are making what I would like to consider the next greatest and best platform fighter, because it's like, of course it's like Smash, but it also incorporates FGC elements like EX, like Super, like parries, like perfect, all that kind of stuff. So keep your eye on Combo Devils. So yeah, I was able to play some Combo Devils. I get reacclimated with the devs, got to shoot the shit a little bit. It was funny because they actually once me and Dula showed up, they brought us in behind in their booth. They were like, yo, like, y'all could play right here. You know what I'm saying? So they made sure like we were able to get some time in on the game, because since the last time we played it was like a year. So it was really cool. They had some new characters. So I'm hoping, guys, listen, I'm hoping that they release that game sooner than later. But if you have not checked it out or heard of it, please do yourself a favor and do that. Other than that, I like, it's just a lot of running into people and just like catching up. And then like, I was trying to see a lot of the artist alley and all of the booths that were available. And I was just kind of getting like a scope on what was there, so I can see like what I could maybe get by the end of the event. My one piece of advice when it comes to trying to buy merch is always try to see if you're able to get a preview as to what is being sold, whether it's from the official EVO stuff or like Tenno or whoever. And if you're able to like get an idea of what you want, it'll save you a lot of time, because then that way you can kind of prioritize like, okay, I'm about to hit up this and just try to buy whatever it is, because there's a high chance that it won't be available for very long. I noticed a lot of people were selling desk mats. I feel like that's a thing now, which is really cool, especially if you're someone that also plays card games like myself. So I think that's pretty neat that a lot more people and a lot more artists are getting into selling like their own custom desk mats. And I guess, you could use them as play mats if you'd like, as well, since it's like all rubber based or whatever. So that was really, really sweet. But yeah, like after all that, we get back to the hotel room. It's like myself, Mega Isaac, my boy Ultimizer, Son Dula, and we were all like hanging out, just bullshitting, having these random arguments of like what the hell were we even talking about? Like it was basically all Isaac. Isaac is the instigator of all things when it comes to debates and tier lists and top 5 this, top 5. Oh yeah, we were talking about like top 5 like Power Rangers on like the female side, and his reasons were trash as always, and like I'm sure he's gonna say something in the comments about that, but it doesn't matter. And trying to like argue like who's the strongest anime character and why, and who would be, but again, shit like that, even though I'm making it sound a certain way, this is the shit that is good for the soul, especially when you don't really have that a lot, because it's like a good vibe. You know, you're with your friends, you're just literally bantering, pointless bantering, and at the end of it all, it's just like I can appreciate it and enjoy it in those moments despite the headassery, because it's just like, damn, like this is what this shit is all about. This is why events like EVO are important, because you get to literally do what you normally can't do, especially as like an adult now, you know, as often as you once did. So I have way more of an appreciative take on that now, and I was very happy with that. So now I guess we could fast forward to Sunday, and Sunday was the day where I was doing a lot of grinding. I looked back at the footage, which I still have to compile and like do all the audio editing and everything like that, and just put everything together in general. And I didn't realize I interviewed like 10 people, which is awesome. I think that's like a record, because I never got that many people in one day, let alone like an entire event. So the next Tell 'em FGC video is probably going to be its longest, and I'm like pretty excited for that. I'm also excited for you guys to see the 2024 version. Side note, fun fact, the reason why I'm dropping that video so late is because I actually thought all the footage was lost, and I stumbled upon it like a month ago. And so I was just like, oh my God, like praise everything. So I went and just tried to bang out that. And oh, I guess I should also say that like the main video itself, like the rough cut, I was able to finish on the plane. So it was like a 5-hour flight. And I basically spent like more than half of that flight like in the middle seat, which was broken, by the way. I should add, I had a broken fucking seat. Crazy. And I was still editing, no mouse, just trackpad, I should also add. And yeah, I got it done, the rough cut at least. So there's a few like other effects that I do have to add in there. And shout out to Aziza. So rest in peace, Aziza. We miss you every day. And yeah, gotta get that done for you guys first. So there's an order of operations here, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that real quick. But yeah, Sunday was the grind day. Literally went around with my camera. Again, big shout out to Curtis at Dynamic Beadworks. Literally, this man single-handedly saved my shoulders. Okay, he saved my shoulders, saved my back, because if it was not for him, I would have had to lug around my big ass bag with my fight stick, and that shit would have been a pain. You know, trying to hold like 2 mics, an audio mixer thing, and my tripod with the camera on it, because my setup is mobile when I do these Tell 'em FGC things. And I will say, the spots that I was actually able to film at, surprisingly, no one ran into the camera. First time ever. So I'm very happy about that. So look forward to that. I will, of course, be releasing like short versions of like each of the questions, like as parts or whatever, for like the TikTok and Instagram, and on, you know, throw them on Twitter as well. So if you're not already following me on any of those platforms, links will always going to be in that description. So, and even in between all of the, oh, damn, I'm sorry. The one other thing that I forgot that I did on Saturday was I was able to try out Sagat. So by the time this video comes out, Sagat's already live. You can play him. You can play Sagat, first character of Season 3 for Street Fighter 6 right now. Of course, I'm a Capcom creator, for those that don't know. And you could also get Street Fighter 6 off of my Nexus page, but again, link in the description. Check out Sagat. Check out Street Fighter 6 if you haven't already. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to play on a fight stick. So for whatever reason, they only had the setups that were for the creators, from what I was able to see on the Switch 2 version. So in a sense, I was able to essentially play Street Fighter 6 for the first time on the Switch 2 to see how that felt, as well as playing Sagat in general, and also playing him on a fucking controller, mind you. I do not play fighting games on regular controllers no more, unless it's like, you know, Smash Bros. I play like on a GameCube controller. But like everything else is primarily a fight stick, you know? So I was able to play with Dula, got my impressions of Sagat. Sagat's a lot of fun, despite me playing on a controller. He feels how you would expect him to feel, but with the additions of having target combos, provides more, I would say, versatility, and you don't really necessarily have to feel like you have to rely on, like, his big, like, heavy kicks and, heavy punches. Although, as always, you would expect that to be a part of his arsenal and his whole game plan going in. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to playing more Sagat. I am sad, though, that of course, in addition to doing what I was doing with content and everything and getting to hang out with friends, like, the other thing is competing. And I wanted to compete. Obviously, that was during the day that on Friday that I missed out completely. I entered Street Fighter 6 and I entered Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And I entered Blade for Isaac. And I wasn't able to. And I actually practiced. Funny enough, I normally don't get to practice probably the week of or the week prior leading into an event for any of the brackets I've ever entered in my entire life, right? And funny enough, the one time I gave a month of prep where I at least gave an hour or some change to playing online, trying out new combos, making sure that I can execute the things that I was practicing in actual matches, I could say that, like, I definitely improved to a point where, like, I felt some confidence going in where I don't know if I could have made it out of pools, but, like, I do come pretty close every time that I have entered a bracket. But, competing hasn't been, like, my priority when it comes to going to these events anymore. It hasn't been for a long time, but I always do it anyway because for me, it's a way for me to support the game that I'm playing, and it's, obviously a way to support that community at the same time. But it's also for me to see, like, where I kind of stand as far as, like, skill level in comparison to, like, your average person or anyone who is entering the said event. And so, like, I was prepping Elena, and now that Sagat's out, it's like, damn, like, I usually always like to try out the new characters for the season whenever they come. So it's like, Sagat's out, and I'm definitely gonna be playing a lot of Sagat. And then once Sea Viper drops, which is the next character, I'm sure I'm gonna be on Sea Viper. So, for me, I just like playing the characters that obviously, like, do something for me where it's just like, yo, like, they're designed so cool, they look so cool, like, I want to experience that. But I mean, Street Fighter 6 is, like, they've been hitting it, like, the only character I feel like so far that I haven't played is Ed. And I'm pretty sure he was one of the season pass characters. But, like, I played Akuma, I played Bison, I'm on Elena now, I played Mai, I played Terry for a little bit, and now, like, of course, Sagat's here. So overall, like I said, Sagat, really fun character. His new tools that they provided to him makes him, what I would like to think, more viable than he has, I guess, felt like in previous iterations. And that's what's really important when I think, for fighting games nowadays, especially because if you want people to not only just buy the season pass or to buy a character, you want to give them a reason. So it's like, well, you got to make them worth, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like Sagat is definitely worth, even if you've never played him before. And listen, Street Fighter is my first game I've ever laid eyes on. That's why me and Capcom are locked in, okay? Because Street Fighter 2 was the first game my dad put me in front of as, like, a however month old baby, son. I was locked in literally since birth. So a lot of these characters, I will have, like there's a high chance that I will literally find something about them that I like that I'll want to at least try. And Sagat was always a character that I've always loved. I never really mained per se, but, like, every time he's been in a Street Fighter game, I've at least tried him out a few times or played with him or whatever. Like Street Fighter 4, I played him a lot. Street Fighter 5, I definitely played him a lot. Street Fighter 2, I dabbled with. Obviously, it wasn't in 3. I didn't really play him all that much in Alpha. I did try him out a little bit in CVS when I was able to get some CVS 2 time back in the day. But, yeah. Point is, Sagat's really dope. Definitely check him out. But that was something I did on Saturday. So back to Sunday. Sorry. So right back to Sunday. Grinding. Filming all this video content for Tellum. Still catching up with people. And then I finally actually got to buy 2 things. The one thing I can't show you because I gave it to her. It was a bracelet for Crystal, right? The other thing I'm going to show you right now. Man, look at this dope-ass fucking X-Men art, bro. I mean, as soon as I saw this, I was like, first of all, I told the artist straight up to his face, I was like, I am literally coming back for this. You're godlike. Like, I literally told him, you guys Dula. I literally said to this man, I was like, bro, there needs to be a new word for like having a lot of talent, because you got way more than just talent. You got something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys gotta literally check this dude out. I'm gonna leave a link to his socials in the description below. I'm like, honestly, I'm like forgetting their name, so that's on me. But my memory's shit, so I'm being real about it. But dude, let me tell you, when I saw this shit at first, I had no choice. I had to go up to him. I'm like, dude, like you're OD, you're godlike, right? So I got this and I got a bracelet, and that was literally the only things that I was able to even snag this year, outside of this Fuku Burger hoodie. So that was one thing that I was looking forward to the most out of my entire trip. Fuku Burger is a go-to must eatery. You have to experience it for yourself. Like, the owners of this little shop, they must love fighting games, they must love anime, they must love all that shit, because the whole store is set up with all this different like anime and video game decor. And they even had EVO playing like on their TVs and shit. And the food is so good. Like, holy shit. Like, I was telling them, I wish you guys had a store out here. And that's why I had to get the hoodie. Because I was like, I need to put everybody on to Fuku Burger, okay? And obviously, this is no sponsor, okay? They're not sponsoring me because, you know, like, why would they? They don't even know who the fuck I am. But, like, I was straight up like, you guys are ridiculous. Like, you guys are OD. Like I said, I wish you guys had a store out here in the East Coast so I could literally continue to have your food because it's so good. So highly recommend, definitely check out Fuku Burger if you're in the Vegas area. And that was something that I did at or on Sunday before I was able to experience EVO Finals for the first time. So I've never been to an EVO Finals out of all the years I've been going to EVO. I've been going to EVO since 2018. And every year, even when I'm there, I've always just watched the finals with friends at like whoever's room. And in some years, we went to Frankie's place, and he has like a really nice like common area with a pool and all that stuff. And there was one time where he even had one of his homies who like does like this crazy like event type of production where he set up like this whole big ass electronic screen, and we watched EVO that way, the finals, you know? And that was really cool. So I didn't get to watch finals like the whole day, obviously, because I was like filming the whole day, but I was able to catch like the top 3 matches. And I gotta say, I acknowledge Mena as my champion. I literally think that his entire everything that he's been doing with Street Fighter and the message that he delivers when he wins, like, there's a lot of people that if they would win and they would keep winning, they might say some arrogant shit. They might be on their high horse. The ego might go crazy. But you know what? He didn't do that. He didn't take that approach at all. He literally was just like, I don't want to take this opportunity to like talk about what I did. Let's talk about what we all did. As soon as this guy said that, I was locked in. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, and no offense to him, but like, Mena was never one of my favorites until that moment. Like that shit hit me. You know what I'm saying? And I am very proud. And you know, obviously, like, I didn't have a chance to tell him to his face, but this is something that I wish I had the chance to win, because I didn't even see him after that. Like, if I did see him, I would have loved to have gone up to him and been like, shook his hand and be like, bro, congratulations, and I am so proud to call you my champion. You know, like, that is something, like, this guy's on fire. Like, he's won all the big events, bro. He's undeniable. Blanca player. Like, Mena's OD. Mena's OD. That was like one of my favorite moments, just to see that, to see his speech. And one of the things that I feel like I'll add that's very important about EVO has this magic that every time I watch Street Fighter Finals, and whoever the winner is, especially like the ones I was super hyped, like when Takedo won, when Punk won, now Mena, I always get reminded of, like, that is like the biggest goal, the biggest dream you could really achieve. You know, like, being an EVO champion, like in this space, it's like a reminder. Like, even though like I'm doing all this stuff, right? I'm doing content, I've done commentary, I've run my own events in the past, and you know, I'm just trying to stay involved in all the ways that I can. Seeing moments like that reminds me to the one thing that I'm sure a lot of us have always wanted to have happen, and that is to do that. To get acknowledged for being the best, to like show the world like, yeah, I'm that good at this game, and to just have the roar of the crowd and everyone around you and like really like celebrate you and hype you up, and to just, it's just a very exciting time, an exciting moment, and that shit is so real, and it always makes me feel like, damn, like I would love to have the opportunity and the time to really try to go all in and to even get to that point. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know. You know, like, I feel like if I was ever in that position where I made a top 8 on an EVO stage, that shit would be so crazy. Like, I would, not even gonna lie, I would probably hold up production because before my match, I would literally just sit there. I might stand up. I might literally like pace around. I might just look at the crowd, and I might just throw up the 1 just to see if I could get people behind me, almost on some Goku shit, to be like, I need y'all energy to really help me get through this, because it took all of us to get here. And so, like, I would be taking everyone's energy, everyone's vibe to push me forward. Like, that would be amazing. But yeah, it's a dream. It's a dream. So yeah, that was essentially all, like, everything that happened with EVO, right? So I say all this. I know this is a long-ass video, but I say all this to say that despite even missing a whole day and not getting a chance to experience everything, like, I was able to play Marvel Tokon, which I have a lot of things to say about. Good things, rather. And the only bad thing was, like, I didn't get enough time to play. I definitely need more time. I actually met like one of the heads of Sony. Super nice guy. He followed me back on Twitter, which is really cool. And he left an open door, pretty much, saying like, yeah, if you ever, whenever you like, you know, post something about Tokon, like you know, send it to me, and like, be happy to share it around, all that stuff. And I'm like, thank you, that'd be awesome. So there's that. But yeah, we definitely gotta get back on the Tokon regardless. I know that there's some videos that I wanted. Trust me, there's a whole pipeline of stuff that I want to do for Tokon leading up to its release. So yeah, look forward to that stuff. But for the Tell 'em FGC stuff, a lot of my questions is based on Marvel Tokon. Spoilers, but there it is. So yeah, like, even despite me missing a day and all that kind of stuff, 100% still worth it. 100% still worth it. I cannot wait for next year. I'm hoping that everything works out, that I'm still able to attend. If I have to miss every other event and I could only pick one, it has to be EVO. And I mean, yo, you know what the bias of that is, like, as long as my boy Frankie lives out there, I will definitely, like, there's no doubt I will always have to pick EVO, because, like, that's another opportunity for me to spend time with my fucking boy. You know what I'm saying? Megaphone Frankie, another hustler, grinder. My man's literally out here doing his thing, whether it's throwing a disc in Windjammers or he's telling people to get the fucking line for some Marvel Tokon, okay? Like, that's my dude for life. You know what I'm saying? EVO is worth it. So now I wanna talk about the cost. Okay, so I'm gonna reference I got a little note here on my phone. I did some math, and I guess this is a weird transition into going into some of the things that I didn't like. But this is like, the things I didn't like about EVO is like obvious shit. So, but here we go. So I added up my flight, my registration cost, my room cost, and then everything else. That includes food, Uber, miscellaneous. Miscellaneous is like, you know, the hoodie, the piece of art that I got, you know, shit like that. But a lot of it is primarily just food, right? $1,317.09. Just keep that in mind, okay? Last year, I'll just put it to you like this. My flight was like maybe $100 cheaper, and my room, I pretty much didn't have to worry about all that much because I was blessed to be on Dynamic Focus. I'm still on Dynamic Focus. Like, I've never left the group despite Aziza no longer being with us. But that was the one thing that was amazing about being in that group, was that I didn't have to worry about certain expenses. Obviously, like, you know, there was never a free ride for everything. But now that, you know, I had to pretty much cover my own, that, you know, that obviously makes the cost go up. Registration in and of itself, that shit, it creeps up in price every year, I feel like. Now, what helped was that there was a 50% off, which is kind of fucked up in a way when you think about it, because all of those people that pre-regged early, or they just registered early before this sale went on, it's just like, that's like kind of like a slap in the face to all those people, because like they paid, I'm sure they paid more, you know what I'm saying? But now it's like, to ensure that they really got more people to go, they offered this like 50% off coupon or whatever. And I'm just like, damn, luckily I was able to take advantage of that. And even so, like, just to put into perspective, my registration was still close to $200. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, in total, $1,300, bro. Just to experience EVO, like, on my own, okay? Just on me, and my room that I was in, I shared it with like 4 other people. My flight, I'm still paying off. You know, like, there's none of this was like a straight, like, boom, right out of my bank account, all in one shot. Same with registration. Like, everything was on a payment, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Even my room, like, I gotta pay Isaac one more time, and then I'm good on that. But everything from like the food, the Uber, the all, you know, like any of the small miscellaneous stuff. Like, I went to get myself ice cream after dinner, for food, for batteries that I had to buy just to make sure I had batteries for like my recorder. All that added in. Now, I also wanted to give any shout outs to like Frankie, right? Because Frankie saved me an Uber ride. You know what I'm saying? Like, he basically took me to the freaking airport on the way out. So shout outs to my boy. But like, I still gave money to Crystal because she brought me all the way from freaking like PA, Jersey, whatever, to the airport, and then we had to go back because my flight got canceled. So I already gave her gas money and stuff like that. But Frankie was literally like 10 minutes. He was like, nah, I got you. Don't worry. I was like, say less. Thank you very much. But yeah, keep that in mind whenever you're budgeting or trying to, you know, make it work for EVO. Now, I know that this price could be different for everybody, especially like if you're closer to Vegas. Like, if you're flying from the West Coast, I'm sure you're not looking at a $631 flight, or even $500 for that matter. It's probably going to be way less, like half that, if anything. Yeah, aside from that, I guess I'll transition to like the things I didn't like. Honestly, just how expensive it is, you know? Just how expensive it is, but to a degree, I mean, not to a degree, I do understand why events like this get so expensive, because it's like, look at everything that you could do, you know? It's like, EVO has expanded like tenfold. Like 100-fold. Like every year it seems like it gets bigger and bigger. And I guess the other thing that I guess I'll say from my own experience that I didn't like is not even on EVO, but it's just on my personal experience with just getting there late. I didn't even get to do everything that I wanted to do. You know, like, I was fortunate enough to, and I made the smart decision of making Marvel Tokon the first thing that I did on Sunday, because I only had to wait an hour. And that hour kind of flew by because I was playing Marvel Snap on my phone anyway, so I was chilling. But like, I didn't get to try Invincible Versus. I didn't get to try the latest build of 2x KO. I didn't get to get more time with Combo Devils like I wanted to. And I surely didn't get to play any of the other indie games that were there. And they had like the new Demon Slayer game there. Oh, they had Canon Fatal Fury. I didn't get to try that either. I was like, damn, bro, like, that's crazy. Like, I mean, but, you know, granted, I was busy, doing content and everything like that. But, again, it's because I missed the whole day. So it's like there was less of a chance for me to do things. And plus, there was other vendors I didn't even get to browse in. Like, there's this one artist that I'm sure this dude's annoyed with me at this point, right? Sloogs, I'm pretty sure if I'm getting the name right from my memory off the Twitter handle. But I'm sure this dude is so annoyed with seeing Uchi pop up in his mentions every freaking time on how much I drool over this guy's art, bro. Like, this dude's art is OD. And I've been saying for about a year, I feel like, how I cannot wait to see him again so that I could get some art. And now I'm pretty sure he started putting that shit on t-shirts. And oh my God. See, I would actually prefer getting like clothing over actual just prints, because first of all, I still got to put a bunch of prints. I have so many prints that they're just waiting to be put up. But like traveling home with prints is like, I don't like doing that because, like, I don't know if you even noticed it on this, but like this kind of got scuffed up a little bit, like with the bends or whatever. And like I try to like, fold it up or not fold it, but I did not fold it, but like just to try to place it within the bag as best as I could. And like, imagine if you were someone that was trying to like get a bigger piece, like, bro, like there's no way I would have had to have gone to the FedEx, and that would have been more expenses to add to the freaking list right here. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many prints I got put up. But yeah, this guy, he's probably so annoyed with me, especially now that I feel like such an ass because I was like, I cannot wait to see you. I can't wait to be there. And I didn't, bro. I couldn't. I had no time. I apologize. I don't want to ever come off as one of those, you know what I'm saying, where it's just like, oh yeah, like I'll be back and I never come back. Like I hate that shit. Like for this dude, I made sure, I told him, I said, bro, I'm coming back for this. And I did. Okay? I did. Okay? I made sure. And I would have done it for the other homeboy, but couldn't do it. I didn't even get any official EVO merch this year. I pulled up in the shit from last year and I called it a day. I was like, listen, first of all, I don't even have time. And I guess like to a degree, my bank account survived a little bit, after this weekend. So who knows if it was a blessing in disguise. I guess the other thing that I wanted to show off really quick, I mentioned that I was at the Capcom booth for Sagat. Oh, really fast, shout outs to Dula, because there was another artist that we saw that had some really sick artwork, and he basically got like they were doing like a buy two get one free deal, and he was like, which one would you want? And he basically gave me his free one. So again, shout out to my boy Dula. That's the Psylocke John, right? So here's the stuff. I honestly, I didn't even get a chance to even look at the goodie bag stuff that I got from the Capcom booth as a creator, because again, I had like a little like a private session. I didn't have to wait in line or anything like that. So big shout out to Capcom. This must be like some kind of product lineup. I don't know if this was meant to be. Whoa, is this a comic? Holy shit. This is a whole, this is the issue 1 variant cover doll sim of issue 1 of Street Fighter, bro. That's OD. I didn't even know that. Wow, Street Fighter issue 1 2025 edition, covered by John Gang. Dude, that's fire. Holy shit, this is a Carnivore Comics exclusive, bro. I didn't even know this. This is the first time I'm actually getting a chance to even look at this. So big shout out. I can't wait to read this. There's this poster that, of course, got destroyed as far as, like, it got flat, as you can see. Like, look at this. But it's a little impromptu. Oh, this is like a Street Fighter League. Yeah. That's kind of sick. I've actually never... This will be the first poster I've ever had with, like, actual players on this. So, yeah, that's pretty dope that they included a Street Fighter League poster. So, big shout-outs to Capcom for that. What else is in here? Oh, I got some stickers. Yeah, some Pro Tour stickers. Hey, they included the Sagat. There he is on the... come on. There it is. Yeah, buddy. Tiger uppercut. There we go. So, we got the Sagat sticker. Got the World Warrior and the Pro Tour stickers right here. So... Fire. I think that's it, right? And then obviously the tote bag. to plug the Capcom Fighting Collection too. And then some more artwork. This is a very nice tote bag, not gonna lie. So thank you very much, Capcom. I love you guys always and forever. And then I do want to show off the new artwork that I got at Victrix. Shout out to Victrix. For those that also don't know, I am with Turtle Beach, which owns Victrix. So this was like a no-brainer. I was gonna go visit them regardless because they're gang, you know what I'm saying? They're family. So here's my stick that hopefully you guys can. Oh my god, the brightness is way too bright on this. Hold on, I'm gonna have to adjust some things. Give me a second, I'm gonna have to edit this part. Look at that. Healing. But that, no, all seriousness, that art, you know that shit's fire. I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover. EVO's awesome. You have to go. Hopefully next year I don't get bodied by a thunderstorm or some weather BS, and I get to do everything that I wanted to do. And also, I was actually recommended to maybe do judging next year, which would kind of scratch an itch that I've been trying to get back into, which is running events. Because again, that's like the whole vibe of a tournament and just being around everyone that is all there for the purpose of enjoying fighting games together is something that I have legitimately been missing out on in my life for years at this point. And I only get that whenever I'm attending something, which is not even as often as, or not nearly as often as it once was. Because I remember the years where I'd be attending several majors throughout the year, and then in between, I would have the locals and like other smaller events that I would go to with friends and whatnot. And I don't have that anymore. And I would like to continue that, or maybe one day get back to feeling like that. But right now, it's not really in the cards. But yeah, it's something that I would definitely consider for next year, especially since they pay their judges. So, you know, with my experience, I've been doing this for well over 10 years. So I'd hope that someone from EVO sees this and is like, oh yeah, we'll get Uchi on there. But yeah, neither here nor there. Despite me not being there for all 3 days, EVO was still worth it. I was very happy to see all the friends that I saw, to reconnect with those that I have not seen in forever, and the few opportunities that I did get to play certain things. And with Marvel Tokon, I kind of want to make a separate video about that, so that way it doesn't get lost in this one, but to give you guys my impressions. But man, that game is sick. I'll just say that to start, and then look forward to that. But also, speaking of looking forward to, look forward to everything else that I got going on in this channel and just with me in general. You'll probably see a lot of Godzilla card game content because, again, that's something that I really enjoy, so I'm doing videos for it. And now that I'm home and I'll be slowly working on the new Tell 'em FGC stuff, there will, of course, be new updates for that content. And we're going to go right back to the Marvel Tokon grind, as well as doing some Marvel Snap stuff and some Street Fighter stuff as well. So please look forward to all the stuff that I got going on in the near and far future. And I hope to see your comments. Let me know what y'all thought about my experience of EVO. If you had an experience that you'd like to share about EVO, or if anything that I said connected with you on any level, please let me know, because I always love looking forward to engaging with people. And oh my God, before I wrap this video up, there's one more thing that I almost forgot to mention. The one thing that I feel like the FGC is missing is those grassroots moments that you would not really see at major events nowadays. And what I'm referring to is the fact that we literally played CeeLo. You know what CeeLo is? Please look it up. It's a dice rolling game, and this is as grassroots as it gets. Like, this is like classic FGC head assery shenanigans, bro. It was probably one of the most fun things I could have ever witnessed or experienced. My boy Johnny Cage was with me. My boy Sundula was there with me. Frankie was there watching, trying to understand what the fuck was going on. And my man Chris O Matrix was there. First of all, I feel like, not even gonna lie, I was trying to get this man on Tell 'em. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to. But funny how this works. I showed him a picture of Johnny and Dula throwing dice against the wall, and somehow this motherfucker appeared out of nowhere. Like, he was like Like, I could not make this shit up. I was like, of course he pulls up for fucking CeeLo, right? But like, I was not mad at all. I was just so happy to see him, for one, and for two, just to see and to get that kind of experience. And I don't know if they're gonna publish the photos, because I did peep one of the official EVO photographers like taking photos, and John was like, I don't know if you want to publish this, but you know, it's not like they had money out or anything like that. But nonetheless, it is a game that if you have never experienced it, like, to watch people that know what they're doing like play it, you have to. I'll at least include like a little clip right here so you can just see, because dude, it's like the constant banter back and forth. It's just like, this is literally a part of why we love doing this. You know, it's just like that camaraderie and all that. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. This is pretty much like an hour-long video at this point. I feel like, you know, doing this and documenting it and putting it out there. I want to make this a regular thing, probably for like all of the tournaments that I attend, or just the events in general that I attend. Like I said before, if you have anything you would like to share, or if anything I said resonated with you, please do let me know, because I do look forward to interacting with you guys. That's like one of the best parts about doing stuff like this, is like direct interaction with folks. And like, don't forget to check out everything else that I mentioned. And also, links in the description are pretty important. Definitely check those out for more of me and for more of everything that I mentioned. So thank you again, guys. I'm going to get back to other stuff now. Like, I got to do the reaction to this freaking Power Rangers in Fortnite. Like, share, subscribe. Love what you love. Gang, gang.